Imagine this. It's the middle of the night. Everything is silent, peaceful, and suddenly you wake up, not because of a dream, not because of noise, but because your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe your heart is racing for no reason. Maybe you're drenched in sweat, or you feel a strange pressure in your chest. You sit up, confused, scared, but then you say something dangerous. It's nothing, it will pass, and you go back to sleep. But what if that moment, that one small signal, was actually a warning? A warning that something inside your body isn't right. This is not fear. This is reality. There are countless real-life cases. People who ignored these nighttime signals, and by morning, their life had changed forever. Some woke up in hospitals. Some didn't wake up at all. The truth is, your body speaks the loudest when the world is quiet. At night, when distractions disappear, your body reveals what you've been ignoring all day. And if you're a senior, these signs become even more critical because your body doesn't whisper for no reason. It whispers before it starts to scream. So in this video, I'm going to show you the most dangerous nighttime signs your body can give. Signs that many people ignore, but shouldn't. And if you care about your life, if you care about your family, you need to watch this till the end, because one small awareness can save your life. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because the knowledge you gain here might protect you or someone you love. Now let's begin. 1. Waking up with chest pain or pressure. It often begins quietly, not with a sharp, dramatic pain like people imagine, but with a strange, uncomfortable pressure. You wake up in the middle of the night, and for a moment, you don't understand what's wrong. There's no noise, no disturbance. Everything around you is still. But inside your body, something feels off. It's not exactly pain. It feels like someone has placed a heavy weight on your chest. A slow, suffocating pressure. You shift your position, thinking maybe you slept wrong. You take a deep breath, but the discomfort doesn't go away. Instead, it lingers. And then your mind tries to protect you. It's just gas. It must be acidity. It will pass. So you ignore it. You lie back down. You try to sleep. But here's the truth most people don't realize. This exact moment, this exact decision has changed lives forever. There are real people, just like you, who felt this same small discomfort at night. They didn't panic. They didn't act. They convinced themselves it was nothing. And by morning, they weren't the same. Some woke up in emergency rooms. Some woke up with permanent damage to their heart. And some never woke up at all. Because what feels small to you may actually be your heart struggling silently. At night, your body slows down. Your heart rate drops. Your system relaxes. And that's exactly when underlying problems begin to show themselves. This pressure you feel, it's not always loud. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It spreads slowly, from your chest to your arm to your jaw, your back, a dull, creeping discomfort. Easy to ignore, easy to misjudge. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Because people don't act on what doesn't feel urgent. But your body doesn't need to shout to be serious. Sometimes, a whisper is a warning before a scream. If you ever wake up like this, don't just dismiss it. Don't gamble with it. Because your heart doesn't send signals for no reason. And the scariest part? It doesn't always give a second warning. Listen before it's too late. 2. Sudden rapid or irregular heartbeat. It starts without warning. No loud noise. No nightmare. No visible trigger. You're asleep, lost in silence. And suddenly your eyes open. Not fully, just enough to realize something isn't right. Your body feels still, but your chest is not. Your heart is racing. Not the normal, calm rhythm, but fast, heavy, almost aggressive. You can feel it pounding, not just inside your chest, but in your throat, your ears, like it's trying to break out. You stay still for a moment, hoping it will settle down. But then something even more unsettling happens. It skips. A beat, then another. An irregular, unpredictable rhythm. Fast, slow, pause, thump. And now, fear slowly creeps in. Because you know, this is not normal. There's no reason for it. You weren't running, you weren't scared, you weren't even dreaming. So why is your heart acting like this? Many people in this moment do the same thing. They try to calm themselves. It's just stress. Maybe I had too much tea or coffee. It will go away. So they turn to the other side, close their eyes, and try to ignore it. But what they don't realize is this. Your heart doesn't lose its rhythm for no reason. This could be something called arrhythmia, a condition where your heart's natural timing system starts to fail. Instead of beating in a steady, controlled pattern, it becomes chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes dangerous. Now here's what makes it even more serious. At night, your body is supposed to be at its calmest state. Your heart rate slows. Your system rests. Everything is designed for recovery. But if your heart is still racing, or worse, beating irregularly, that means something deeper is happening. Something your body cannot control anymore. There are real cases. People who woke up with this exact feeling. A racing, unstable heartbeat in the middle of the night. They ignored it. They waited. They went back to sleep. And hours later, they woke up feeling weak, dizzy, disoriented, or didn't wake up at all. Because when the heart loses its rhythm, it can affect everything. Your brain, your breathing, your blood flow. And the most dangerous part? It doesn't always come with pain. Sometimes, it's just a strange, uncomfortable sensation. Easy to dismiss, easy to underestimate. But think about this. Your heart has been beating for decades. Every second, every minute, without stopping. It knows its rhythm better than anything. So, if suddenly it starts to stumble, to race, to skip, that's not random. That's a signal, a warning. Ignoring it is like hearing a ticking clock, but choosing not to look at the time, because deep down, you're hoping it's nothing. But hope is not protection. Awareness is. If you ever wake up feeling your heart out of control like this, don't ignore it. Don't normalize it. Because your heart doesn't ask for attention often. But when it does, it's not something you should ever take lightly. 3. Night sweats without any reason. It doesn't begin with fear. It begins with confusion. You're asleep, completely unaware, and then suddenly you wake up. Not because of a sound, not because of a dream, but because something feels wrong. Your clothes feel heavy. Your skin feels sticky. And as you slowly come to your senses, you realize you're drenched in sweat. Not a little, not normal sweating, but the kind that soaks your shirt, your bedsheet, as if your body has been fighting something all night. And the strange part? The room is cool. The fan is running. Maybe even the air feels slightly cold. There's no reason for your body to react this way. Yet it did. You sit up, confused, touch your face, your neck. Your heart might be slightly fast. You're breathing a little uneasy, but nothing feels serious enough. So your mind does what it always does. It tries to make it normal. Maybe it's just the weather. Maybe I covered myself too much. It's nothing. So you wipe the sweat, change your side, and go back to sleep. But here's what most people never stop to think about. What if your body wasn't just sweating? What if it was struggling? Because night sweats like this, they're not always about temperature. They're often about imbalance. Your body is trying to regulate something that's going wrong deep inside. Something you cannot see. Something you cannot feel during the day. But at night, when everything slows down, it starts to surface. It could be a hormonal imbalance, where your internal system is no longer stable. It could be an infection your body is silently fighting, raising your internal temperature without you even realizing it. Or, in some cases, it could even be connected to your heart, struggling to function properly, forcing your body into stress. And the only way it expresses that stress is through sweat, silent, invisible, but real. There are real stories, people who ignored this exact sign. They thought it was nothing, just one of those nights. But then it started happening again and again, until one day, the underlying issue became too big to ignore. By then, it wasn't just sweat anymore. It was something far more serious. That's the danger. Because night sweats don't come with alarms. They don't shout. They don't demand attention. They simply happen and disappear, leaving you with a false sense of safety. But your body doesn't do anything without a reason. If it's pushing out that much sweat in a cool, calm environment, it's not random. It's reacting. It's trying to balance something that's slipping out of control. And the scariest part? This signal is easy to ignore. No pain, no loud symptom, just discomfort. But sometimes, discomfort is the earliest warning of something deeper. So the next time you wake up like this, drenched, uneasy, confused, don't just brush it off. Pause. Think. Because your body might be trying to tell you something before it's forced to tell you louder. And by then, it may not be so easy to ignore anymore. 4. Sudden shortness of breath. It's one of the most terrifying experiences a person can go through. Because it doesn't just wake you up, it shocks you awake. You're asleep, everything is calm, and suddenly, you jerk up, gasping. Your chest rises quickly, your mouth opens, but it feels like the air isn't enough. Like no matter how deeply you breathe, your body is still starving for oxygen. In that moment, nothing else matters. Not your thoughts, not your surroundings. Just one thing, breathing. You sit upright, maybe hold your chest, maybe your heart is racing now. Your breaths become faster, shorter, desperate, and a quiet fear begins to grow inside you. What is happening to me? You look around. The room is the same. Nothing has changed. But inside your body, something clearly has. And, like many people, you try to calm yourself. It's just a bad dream. Maybe I slept in a wrong position. It will pass. So you wait. You force yourself to slow your breathing. And after a few minutes, it settles. You feel normal again. And that's where the danger lies. Because once it passes, it becomes easy to ignore, easy to forget. But what you experienced in that moment was not just discomfort. It was your body struggling to do the most basic thing, breathe. And your body doesn't struggle like that without a reason. In many cases, this can be linked to heart-related problems. When the heart is not pumping blood efficiently, fluid can build up in the lungs. And when you lie down at night, that pressure increases, making it harder to breathe. So your body reacts the only way it can. It wakes you up, forcing you to sit, to gasp, to survive. In other cases, it could be related to sleep disorders like sleep apnea, where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Imagine that. Your body literally pauses breathing again and again, without you even knowing, until one moment, it becomes so severe that your brain shocks you awake, gasping, desperate, alive but shaken. There are real people who have lived this. They thought it was nothing at first, just one night. Then it happened again and again, each time a little more intense, until one night, it didn't settle so easily. Because when your body starts failing at something as essential as breathing, it's not a small issue. It's a warning, a serious one. And the most dangerous part? It happens in silence. No one sees it. No one hears it. Just you, alone, in the dark, fighting for air. That's why this should never be ignored. Because breathing is not something your body negotiates with. It's something it protects at all costs. So if there's even a moment where it struggles, that moment matters. Every second matters. The next time you wake up like this, don't just calm yourself and forget it. Pay attention. Take it seriously. Because your body is not overreacting. It's trying to protect you. And sometimes, that sudden gasp for air is not just a disturbance. It's a warning you cannot afford to ignore. 5. confusion, or dizziness at night. It doesn't hit you like pain. It creeps in quietly. You wake up in the middle of the night, but something feels off. Not in your body at first, but in your mind. You open your eyes, and for a few seconds, you don't recognize where you are. The room feels unfamiliar. The walls, the ceiling, even the bed, all seems slightly strange, distant, almost unreal. You try to sit up, but your head feels heavy, not just tired, but unstable, like your balance is slipping. A strange dizziness takes over, not spinning wildly, but enough to make you feel like you might fall, even while sitting. You pause, you try to focus. This is my room, I'm okay, but your mind is slower than usual. Your thoughts feel delayed, your clarity slightly blurred. And in that moment, a quiet fear begins to rise, because deep down, you know this is not normal. But like most people, you try to brush it off. Maybe I woke up too suddenly. Maybe it's just weakness. Age does this sometimes, so you lie back down. You wait for it to pass, and eventually, it does, which makes it even easier to ignore. But here's the truth most people never realize. Moments like these are not always harmless. When you wake up confused, disoriented, dizzy like this, it could be your brain telling you something is wrong. Your brain depends on a constant flow of oxygen-rich blood. Every second, every minute, it needs that supply to function clearly. But if something disrupts that flow, even slightly, your brain starts to struggle. And the first signs are often subtle: confusion, disorientation, dizziness, a feeling that something isn't quite right. This could be due to reduced blood flow to the brain. And in some cases, it's not just a minor issue. It can be an early warning sign of a stroke. Yes, a stroke doesn't always come suddenly and dramatically. Sometimes, it sends small signals first. Quiet warnings. Moments where your brain briefly loses clarity, where your balance shifts, where your sense of reality feels unstable. And many people ignore these signs because they don't last long, because they're not painful, because they seem manageable. But there are real stories. People who experienced this exact feeling at night. They woke up confused, slightly dizzy. They ignored it. They went back to sleep. And the next morning, their life was no longer the same. Speech affected, movement limited, independence taken away. All because the early warning was missed. That's what makes this so dangerous. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't force you to act. It simply appears and disappears, leaving behind doubt instead of urgency. But your brain doesn't malfunction without a reason. If it suddenly feels disoriented, if your balance shifts, if your clarity fades even for a moment, that's not something to casually dismiss. That's your body sending a signal, a quiet one, but a serious one. So the next time you wake up like this, take a moment. Don't just ignore it. Don't normalize it. Because when it comes to your brain, even a few seconds of confusion can be the difference between a warning and something far more permanent. Listen to it before it's too late. 6. Frequent urination at night, more than usual. It doesn't feel dangerous at first. In fact, it feels almost normal. You wake up in the middle of the night. Look at the clock. Maybe it's 1:30 or 2, and you feel the urge to go to the bathroom. You get up slowly, do what you need to do, and come back to bed. No fear, no concern, because this happens sometimes. Once, maybe twice, it feels manageable. But then, it starts happening again. Another night, same thing. Then again and again. Until one day you realize you're waking up 3, 4, even 5 times every single night. Your sleep is broken. Your body feels tired even after resting. And yet, you still tell yourself, it's just part of aging. This happens to everyone. But here's the truth, most people never stop to question. What if it's not normal? Because your body doesn't wake you up repeatedly without a reason. Sleep is when your body is supposed to repair, restore, recover. It protects that time. So if something is disturbing that rests again and again, it means something deeper is pulling your body out of balance. At night, your body naturally redistributes fluids. During the day, fluid collects in your legs as you stand or sit. But when you lie down, that fluid moves back into your bloodstream, and your kidneys begin to process it. This is normal. But when something is wrong inside your body, this process becomes excessive. And that's when you start waking up again and again. For some people, this could be connected to heart-related issues. When the heart isn't pumping efficiently, fluid builds up in the body. And at night, when it redistributes, your system tries to remove it rapidly. Result? Repeated trips to the bathroom. For others, it could be an early sign of diabetes, where your body is trying to get rid of excess sugar through urine. You don't feel pain. You don't feel immediate danger, but your body is quietly working overtime. And then there are kidney-related problems. When your kidneys aren't functioning properly, they lose the ability to regulate fluids the right way. So instead of balance, you get disruption. Again and again, every night. There are real people who ignored this sign. They thought it was nothing, just a small inconvenience. But over time, their condition worsened. Energy levels dropped, weakness increased, and by the time they paid attention, the underlying issue had already progressed. That's the danger, because this doesn't feel like a warning. It feels like a routine, something you adjust to, something you live with. But just because something becomes normal in your life doesn't mean it's healthy. Your body is trying to tell you something is not in balance. Something is not working the way it should. And instead of ignoring it, you need to listen. Because repeated interruptions like this are not just about sleep. They're about what's happening inside you. So, the next time you wake up again and again and again, don't just accept it. Pause it. Think. Because your body might be sending you a message, not loudly, but persistently. And sometimes, the most dangerous signals are the ones that repeat quietly every single night. 7. Leg pain or cramping during sleep. It doesn't start as fear. It starts as a sudden shock. You're deep in sleep, your body completely relaxed, and then, out of nowhere, a sharp, intense pain shoots through your leg. You wake up instantly. Your muscles tighten, your leg stiffens, sometimes so hard that you can't even move it properly. It feels like something inside your leg is being pulled, twisted, locked. You try to stretch it, but the pain only increases for a few seconds. Your face tightens, your breath gets heavier, and all you can do is wait for it to release. Slowly, very slowly, it fades. The muscle relaxes. The pain disappears. And you sit there in the dark, breathing, trying to make sense of what just happened. Then your mind quickly finds a simple explanation. It's just a cramp. Maybe I didn't drink enough water. This happens sometimes. So you lie back down, and you forget about it. But what most people don't realize is this. Not every cramp is harmless. Yes, occasional cramps can happen, but when it becomes frequent, sudden, intense, your body may be trying to tell you something deeper, something you cannot see. Your muscles don't tighten like that without a reason. One of the most common hidden causes is poor blood circulation. Your blood carries oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, including your legs. But if that flow is restricted, if something is slowing it down, your muscles begin to suffer. And at night, when your body is still and blood flow changes, that's when the problem shows itself. Through pain, through tightness, through sudden cramps that wake you up. But there's something even more serious, something most people never consider. Sometimes, that pain could be linked to a blood clot, a clot forming silently inside your veins. You don't see it. You don't feel it during the day. But at night, when your body relaxes, it begins to make itself known through discomfort, through tension, through pain. And here's the part that should truly concern you. If that clot moves, if it travels to your lungs or heart, it can become life-threatening in seconds. There are real cases. People who felt repeated leg pain at night. They ignored it. They thought it was just aging, just weakness, just a cramp. Until one day, it turned into something much more serious. Because the body always gives signals first. Small, manageable, easy to ignore. But those small signals are not meaningless. They are warnings. And leg pain at night, especially when it's sudden, intense, or recurring, is not something to casually dismiss. Your body is trying to show you that something isn't flowing right. Something isn't moving the way it should. And instead of ignoring it, you need to pay attention. Because pain that wakes you up from sleep is not just random. It's your body interrupting rest to get your attention. So the next time it happens, that sudden tightening, that sharp pain, don't just stretch and forget it. Pause it. Think. Because sometimes, what feels like a simple cramp is actually a warning you cannot afford to ignore. 8. Unusual anxiety or feeling of doom at night. This one is different. Because it doesn't start in your body, it starts in your mind. You're asleep, no stress, no thoughts, no worries. And suddenly, you wake up, not gasping, not in pain, but with a feeling you can't explain. A deep, uncomfortable, uneasy sensation. It's not loud, but it's powerful. Your eyes open, and for a moment, everything feels normal. The room is the same. The silence is the same. But inside you, something feels wrong. You can't point to it. You can't describe it clearly, but you feel it. A strange wave of fear. Not panic, not terror, just a quiet but intense feeling. Like something is not right. Like something is about to happen. Your heart may be slightly faster. You're breathing a little shallow, but there's no clear reason for it. No nightmare, no sound, no trigger. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Because when fear has a reason, you can fight it. But when it comes out of nowhere, it stays. It lingers. You sit there in the dark, trying to calm yourself. It's just anxiety. Maybe I'm overthinking. It will pass. So you lie back down. You try to ignore it. But the feeling doesn't fully go away. It sits quietly in your chest, like a shadow you can't escape. And eventually, exhaustion takes over and you fall back asleep. But here's something most people don't realize. This feeling is not always just in your head. There have been real cases where people experienced this exact sensation, a sudden, unexplained feeling of doom at night. No pain, no visible symptom, just a deep inner warning. And hours later, they experienced serious heart events. Because sometimes, your body senses a problem before your mind can understand it. Before symptoms become physical, before pain appears, your nervous system reacts. It sends signals, not through pain, but through emotion, through a feeling that something isn't right. Something is changing, something is off. And your brain translates that signal into anxiety, unease, fear. It's subtle, easy to dismiss, because it doesn't feel medical. It feels emotional. But not all emotions come from thoughts. Some come from your body trying to warn you. There are people who ignored this. They thought it was just stress, just overthinking, just another restless night. But that quiet feeling, that strange sense of doom, was the only warning they got. And by the time the real symptoms appeared, it was already too late. That's what makes this so dangerous. Because you don't take it seriously. You don't act on it. You wait for something more real, something more obvious. But sometimes, there is no louder warning. Sometimes, that feeling is the warning. So the next time you wake up like this, with no reason, no explanation, just a deep, uncomfortable sense that something is wrong, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off as nothing. Pause. Listen. Because your body speaks in many ways, not just through pain, but through feelings you can't explain. And sometimes, that quiet fear in the middle of the night is not your imagination. It's your body trying to protect you before it's forced to show you something much worse. In conclusion, here's the truth. Your body doesn't betray you. It warns you again and again until one day it stops warning and starts reacting. Don't wait for that day. If your body is showing these signs at night, don't ignore them. Don't delay, because health isn't lost in one moment. It's lost in the moments we choose to ignore. Take action, pay attention, and most importantly, respect what your body is trying to tell you. If this video opened your eyes, like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe because the next video might protect a life. Stay aware, stay safe.